Introduction. Welcome to the United Nations Police English Language Assessment. This assessment consists of two parts, the reading comprehension and the audio comprehension. The instructions to both parts will be clearly explained before we commence. The use of any computer devices, microphones, books, external notes, or assistance from others is not permitted. We expect full compliance and good conduct during this test. Any candidates who fail to observe appropriate conduct will be excluded from the assessment process, and the incident will be communicated in writing to the authorities of the member state concerned and to the SAAT coordinator in the UN Police Division. Part 1 is the reading comprehension. You will be given a mission-related story with a question and answer sheet which contains 10 questions related to the key facts of the story. You will also be given a blank sheet of paper for your note-taking. Any notes that you take on the blank sheet you are allowed to keep throughout the exam. Read the text very carefully. You may write on the test as you wish. You will not be graded for any marking made on the test itself, only on the question and answer sheet. After reading the test, answer the 10 questions on the question and answer sheet. Be sure to include the entire key fact in your answer. It is not necessary to write in grammatically complete sentences. It is highly recommended that you use the blank sheet of paper for important notes from the reading. These notes will be essential for Part 2 of the assessment. You will be able to keep only the sheet of paper with your notes for the second part of the exam. Keep the test and question and answer sheet face down until you are asked to start. You will have 20 minutes to complete the reading comprehension. The instructor will indicate when these 20 minutes begin. The instructor will then announce when there are 5 remaining minutes and when there is 1 final minute. After the 20 minutes have passed, the instructor will collect the reading test and the question and answer sheet. You will keep the written notes that you made on the blank sheet of paper for the second part of the assessment. Please write your full name, your individual test serial number, and other details clearly in the space provided on the question and answer sheet you receive. Good luck. Introduction. This is the second section of the UNPOL Combined Language Assessment. It is divided into 2 parts. In the first part, you will hear one person describing the mission-related topic you have just read about in the reading comprehension. It will be introduced as the narrative. In the second part, you will hear a conversation between 2 people who are discussing the same mission-related topic. It will be introduced as the dialogue. Please be reminded that the use of any computer devices, microphones, books, external notes, or assistance from others is not permitted. Candidates who fail to observe appropriate conduct during this test will be excluded from the assessment process. Such actions will be duly noted and communicated in writing to the authorities of the member state concerned and to the SAAT coordinator in the UN Police Division. You will be given a report writing form and another blank sheet of paper. Take careful notes on the blank sheet of paper of both the narrative and the dialogue. Pay attention to the important facts and key information. You will hear the recording only one time. Once the narrative and dialogue are finished, you will be asked to use your notes from both the reading and the audio parts to write down your own complete police report. You will have 30 minutes to complete your police report. The instructor will indicate when these 30 minutes begin. The instructor will then announce when there are 5 minutes remaining and when there is 1 final minute. Please do not forget to write your full name, your individual test serial number, and other details clearly in the spaces provided on the report writing sheet. Good luck. Narrative. When reaching the spot of the incident, the unpolled team noticed the presence of an armed Kamaz military vehicle belonging to the local military forces and personnel that were very nervous and exasperated. By interviewing the Sudanese military commanding officer at the scene, Captain Mohammed Bashir, the unpolled team leader, learned that the gunfire originated when a Mercedes-Benz truck carrying several armed men, allegedly belonging to one of the militia groups operating in the area, appeared in the camp with clear hostile intentions. The truck didn't stop at the military checkpoint at the IDP camp and attempted to break in to the World Food Program, or WFP, warehouse. The Sudanese soldiers stationed just outside the IDP camp were alerted of the situation. They moved to the location and engaged in a fierce gun battle that lasted about 15 minutes, forcing the attackers to leave the place. No military personnel were injured during the attack. However, one of the WFP security guards sustained a bullet wound to the left shoulder. He was given first aid by military personnel and then evacuated to the medical clinic of the Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF, at Area 51. According to the military personnel, the local security guard should be commended as he faced and confronted the attackers alone until the arrival of the military forces. He was seen being taken to the clinic and was doing fine. Someone informed that he is a former member of the military or a policeman. Not one of the attackers was apprehended, killed, and or left behind. However, the local military discovered some emergency bandages and traces of blood at the location where the attackers were engaging the military forces. The attackers were identified as members of one of the militia rebel groups operating in the area since a few months, known as Intihari, and the reasons for the attack were believed to be because of the recent delivery of fuel and medicine supplies to the WFP warehouse. The attackers are being pursued by a special operations platoon from the military, with the support of a helicopter and personnel dispatched from Niala Regional HQ. They intend to chase, locate, and apprehend the perpetrators of this attack. The local military forces have not ruled out any possibility. However, they do not believe that the attackers may come back again to the IDP camp. The following is the dialogue between UNPOL team leader Ms. Halima Mwanga and the Army Commanding Officer Captain Mohammed Bashir of the Sudanese Military Detachment. Dialogue.
Ample officer. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. I am the Ample team leader of the Community Police Center, CPS, in Nyala, and would like to ask you the details of what just happened here.
Captain Bashir. Good morning to you too. I'm Captain Mohammed Bashir from the 103 Regiment of Northern Region, and I'm the commanding officer of the military detachment stationed outside the IDP Kalma camp.
We were just outside the OCHA office at Area 51 when we heard the shooting. Can you tell us what happened exactly?
Well, we were at the military camp when some of my soldiers noticed that a Mercedes-Benz truck carrying armed men was passing by the checkpoint and entered the camp without stopping, moving towards Area 51. My personnel realized then that it was an attack, and we came in full force to protect the warehouse and to respond to this attack.
Have you been able to identify the attackers or their intentions?
We know that in the area there have been many rebel movements operating for several months. However, based on our gathered intelligence, we are quite sure that these attackers are part of the newly organized militia group known as Intihari that had been recently seen operating in the area.
Do you know the reason or the motives for their attack against the WFP warehouse?
We believe that most likely they realized that the warehouse received a large supply of fuel and medicine a few days ago, and I'm pretty sure that they launched the attack in order to steal these goods.
Were there any casualties as a consequence of this attack?
Unfortunately, the WFP local security guard was hit by a bullet on his left shoulder. Nothing serious, I believe. He was assisted immediately by our soldiers and then transferred to the Médecins Sans Frontières MSF clinic in the Area 51. There are no casualties among our forces.
And what about the assailants? Was anybody injured? Were you able to capture any of them?
Well, I'm not sure on the status of the attackers. You know very well they do not leave their own people behind, even if they are killed. So everyone was evacuated in the same truck they came in. We couldn't detain nor find anyone left behind. However, we found some traces of blood and first aid emergency bandages scattered all around the area from where they were fighting us.
Do you know anything about the status of the local security agent that was on duty at the WFP warehouse?
Well, that guy is a hero. He faced and confronted the attackers alone. Without his prompt reaction, I'm sure that the perpetrators would have been able to gain access to the warehouse and take away all they wanted. I remember someone told me that he was a former member of the military or a policeman.
Is there anyone following the attackers or trying to capture them?
I have dispatched one of my lieutenants in charge of the Special Operations Platoon to follow the attackers. We are also expecting that a reinforced platoon will be dispatched from regional HQ to assist in this operation, even with the support of a helicopter.
What about the security of the IDP camp? Do you believe that the IDP population might be targeted by this same group in the future?
This is very difficult to predict. However, we are not ruling out any possibility. We know these groups do not attack the camps unless there is something attractive to them, like in this case the fuel and medicine. Anyhow, we are very close. Also, the police are working with us, so I don't believe they will come again.
Captain Bashir, many thanks for your time, and we are heading back to Area 51. Have a nice day.
Enjoy the rest of the day and wishing you a safe journey back to Nyala village. Please inform the humanitarian officials they do not have to worry. We are here to protect the IDP camp.
Many thanks for your reassurance. I will pass your message to them. Masalama.
Masalama.